Hi, I'm Rick Riccati from Riccati Saddle Company. My wife Susan and I own a saddle shop in Clements, California. For the last 20 years or so, we've been involved with the Range Cowhorse people. In the 80s, we used to make the award saddles for the Range Cowhorse Association, and so we have we've spent quite a bit of time with the Range Cowhorse people, and the Range Cowhorse saddles are somewhat one of our specialties. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to review some things about Range Cowhorse saddles and what kind of seats, stirrups, and various things that they use today, including quality of saddles. First I will start with the seat, and in years past, in the 80s, we used to build seats that were really built up in this area here. Since that time, seats have changed quite a bit, and actually today, depending on if you came from a different discipline to the Range Cowhorse, you might use a different seat than someone that started riding Range Cowhorses and hasn't been involved with another discipline. So you will see seats all the way from seats that are almost perfectly flat to seats that are somewhat like this, built up in front, and maybe even some that are actually built up slightly more. Part of it has to do with what you're comfortable with this discipline, and because you do three different things: you cut, you rein, and you do fence work. It has to do with what is comfortable for you. If you have started by cutting and being involved with cutting horses before Range Cowhorses, you would tend to use a little flatter seat because of the cutting discipline. The reiners and the Range Cowhorse in general use a seat that's built up a little more here in the front, and that allows you to, when your horse is making turns and stopping quick, if you get thrown up towards the front, you can get to the back of your seat quickly and easily. And as far as the rest of your saddle goes, fenders are pretty common. They vary a little bit in width. The stirrups, most of the stirrups that are used by the Range Cowhorse people run from about 1.5 inches wide to about 3 inches wide. Probably the core group uses a stirrup that's between 1.5 inches and 2 inches wide. They can be stirrups like these, which are oak stirrups, laminated. Some people use aluminum stirrups. Some people use leather covered or rawhide covered stirrups, and it kind of depends on what's comfortable for you. Stirrups usually with a sharp edge are easier to hang on to, so some of the stirrups that have a thick tread cover that's round are a little more difficult to hang on to. As far as saddle quality goes, one of the things that you would look for in saddle quality is your leather, and how your leather feels, how soft it is. Understanding leather for the average person sometimes is a little difficult. One way to do it is to have a comparison, and when you compare two different saddles that are made by different makers, you can sometimes tell the difference in the quality by feeling. Another way to tell is in your wool skin. There is real wool skin, like is on this saddle here. There is also a synthetic wool that looks very much like this. The way you can tell the difference between a synthetic wool, which is usually used on a less expensive saddle, is by checking to see what the wool is connected to. The real wool, the wool is connected to a hide. In the synthetic wool, the wool is connected to the fabric, and you are able to see along the edge of your skirt the fabric, and that would be the way you would tell the difference between real wool and synthetic wool. Real wool is a far better product, gives you far better service, is more comfortable for your horse, and is also more expensive, and so you will find it generally on the little more expensive saddles. Another thing we're going to talk about is stitching, and one way to notice quality stitching is if you look carefully at the stitching. We put what you call a stitch groove in the leather, which is a channel that we cut into the leather there before we do the stitching. And the reason for that is to keep the stitching at least even or a little bit lower than the surface of your leather. So as you're riding, as there's friction on this thread, it doesn't wear out because it's protected in that channel. Another way to kind of tell the difference is ordinarily finer stitching is more common in quality for two reasons. One is when the stitches are longer, the item is being stitched that much faster. There's less stitches per inch, it takes less time to do it. With the finer stitching is more thread involved and also more time in stitching. One of the other things is that saddles they'll come plain, smooth out, or they'll be plain rough out. There'll be some kind of geometric stamp like this basket stamping, or some type of carving like this California wild rose pattern. The type of tooling or the lack of tooling is really a matter of personal preference. You could purchase a rough out saddle that is every bit as good as this one. Okay, it really has to do with the look and personal preference. A little bit about the tooling that is significant in longevity is that when a saddle is basket stamped or tooled, you tend to compress the leather, which makes it a little more durable, and as you're riding it and creating friction on it, it actually lasts somewhat longer. For any of you that may have questions or are unsure about a purchase of a saddle, I would be more than happy to help you. We have a 800 number that you could call. It's 800 Riccati or 800-742-6884. We also have a website. It's riccatisaddle.com. My email address is on there. I would be glad to help you with any questions you might have with regards to selecting a saddle, the type of rigging, the type of seat, the type of stirrups, or whatever questions you may have. Thank you.